Have you ever wondered why words spoken thousands of years ago still echo in the halls of our modern minds? Why the voice of Socrates feels more alive than yesterday's noise? Why questions written on fading parchment still burn brighter than the headlines of today? Every age believes itself new, yet our thoughts are ancient. Every innovation, every revolution, every self we invent is haunted by wisdom that refuses to die. Because the human heart has not changed, and neither have the questions it asks. Today we journey through time, from the stones of Athens to the quiet mind of the modern soul, to ask, what have we truly learned? The dawn of thought, when questions were born. In the ancient world, before empires rose and machines sang, there were questions, not about how to rule or how to build, but how to live. Socrates walked the streets of Athens, not with a sword, but with a question. He asked, what is good? What is truth? He annoyed the powerful, unsettled the comfortable, and made the ignorant realize their ignorance. The unexamined life, he said, is not worth living. And with those words, he planted the seed of philosophy, the courage to doubt everything, even oneself. Beside him stood Aristotle, the student who dared to organize the chaos of thought. He taught that virtue lies not in extremes but in balance, between fear and recklessness, excess and neglect. Courage is the golden mean. In Aristotle's world, the good life was harmony, not conquest or wealth, but balance. Even now, in a world of endless scrolling and sleepless ambition, Aristotle whispers, happiness is balance, wisdom is restraint. Meanwhile, across the world in ancient China, Confucius spoke of harmony too, but his was a harmony of hearts. He saw society as a living body, where each relationship, parent and child, ruler and citizen, friend and friend, was a sacred bond. When respect breaks, he warned, chaos begins. When empathy fades, order dies. And so, in the East and the West, the same truth was born. To master the world, we must first master ourselves. The path of inner peace, the rise of Stoicism and the Buddha. As empires expanded, so did suffering. People searched not for more gods, but for peace. From the Roman Empire came Epictetus, a slave-turned-philosopher who found freedom within chains. It's not what happens to you, he said, but how you react to it that matters. He taught that control is an illusion, except the control we hold over our own mind. The Stoics learned to face loss without despair, insult without rage, and death without fear. Their calm was rebellion. Their peace, a revolution. Far to the east, the Buddha sat beneath a tree and awakened not to a god, but to truth. All life is suffering, and desire is its root. We crave endlessly, he said, for wealth, for power, for love, for likes, and in that craving, we lose ourselves. Peace is not in possession, but in release. These two worlds, Stoic and Buddhist, never met. Yet they shared a language, stillness. Both taught that suffering begins within, and so must the cure. The age of reason, when doubt became power, centuries turned, empires fell, and the dark ages passed. The world awoke again, to reason, to science, to the idea that thought could light the darkness. René Descartes stood at the dawn of the Enlightenment and doubted everything. His senses, his memories, his own reality, all uncertain. Except one thing, I think, therefore I am. It was not arrogance, it was survival. In a world of chaos and faith and war, Descartes found a single unshakable truth, the mind itself. And then came Immanuel Kant, who took that mind and asked, what is good? For him, morality was not about reward or punishment. It was about duty, about acting as though your choices shaped the law of the universe. He called it the categorical imperative. If everyone lied, society would collapse. If everyone cheated, trust would vanish. Therefore, to be moral is to act as though your actions write the world's rules. In Kant's universe, ethics was not divine, it was human. Morality was a choice of reason, not fear. This was the dawn of modern conscience, the belief that goodness could be built, not commanded. The modern soul. When meaning broke apart, but reason, left alone, grows cold. And as science advanced, faith faltered. By the 19th century, humanity had conquered much, yet felt emptier than ever. Friedrich Nietzsche looked upon this new world and declared, "God is dead." He didn't mean victory, he meant danger. When old beliefs crumble, he warned, meaning vanishes. Without gods or kings to guide us, we drift in the void. But Nietzsche did not despair. He challenged us, create. Become who you are, he said. If the heavens are silent, then we must write our own scripture. We must become the artists of our own values. Around the same time, Simone de Beauvoir rose to claim that freedom is not a gift, it is a burden. We are condemned to be free, she said. Every choice shapes us, and every refusal is still a choice. Freedom demands responsibility, for ourselves and for one another. Their words echoed through an age of war and awakening, reminding us that philosophy was no longer about distant gods or abstract ideals. It was about us. The age of the absurd, finding meaning without meaning. The 20th century shattered illusions. 2 world wars, genocide, nuclear fear, reason had failed to save us. And so, Albert Camus stood at the edge of despair and asked, if life has no ultimate meaning, why live at all? His answer was rebellion, not of weapons, but of the spirit. Even if the universe is silent, he said, live fully anyway. Smile in the face of absurdity. Find beauty, not because life has meaning, but because you can give it meaning. Camus called this the absurd hero, a human who knows the world is indifferent, yet loves it anyway. The living philosophy, ancient voices in a modern mind. And now, here we are, in the digital age. An age of abundance and anxiety, connection and loneliness, an age that claims to have everything, except peace. Yet the voices of the ancients have never been louder. Socrates still asks us to question our screens and ourselves. Aristotle still whispers that virtue is balance, not burnout. Confucius reminds us that respect is the foundation of community. Epictetus still offers calm in a world we cannot control. The Buddha shows us that our hunger for attention, validation, more, is the source of our pain. Descartes teaches us to think, not just react. Kant reminds us that integrity still matters when no one is watching. Nietzsche urges us to create, not imitate. Beauvoir calls us to choose, not drift. And Camus, he smiles at the chaos and tells us to live anyway. The truth is, philosophy never died. It became us. It lives in the choices we make, the empathy we show, the silence we seek. It is not carved in stone, but written in every decision of the human heart. Closing reflection. The fire that never fades. So why do we still listen to voices from 2,000 years ago? Because they remind us that the human story is not progress. It is reflection. Technology changes, empires rise and fall, but our questions remain the same. What is good? What is true? What is happiness? What is enough? The ancients did not give us answers. They gave us something greater, the courage to ask. And so, the dialogue continues. Every philosopher was just another voice in the same conversation. A conversation we're still having, right now. Because the mind evolves, but the soul remembers. And wisdom, true wisdom, never dies. If you found this exploration insightful, give this video a like, share it with a friend, and subscribe to Timeless Questions channel for more deep dives into philosophy, history, and human nature, because the questions may be ancient, but the wisdom is timeless.